Hello, good afternoon and welcome to your Co-op Community Stadium. I'm Shaun Cashmore. Next to me this afternoon is Andy Cook, and you join us for the first home game of the season here back in the National League North. It's Leamington versus Spennymoor Town. Well, if you missed the end of last season, welcome back from that cave you've been hiding in as Paul Holloran's Breaks conquered the odds in the playoffs to deliver not only a successful campaign, but a return at the first time of asking back to the National League setup. So this may be the first game of the season for Leamington at home, but the campaign got underway last Saturday away at Buxton. As the game drew to a conclusion, Leamington had a point snatched away in somewhat dubious fashion. It was 2 minutes into added time when Buxton substitute Josh Ayres bundled his way into the penalty area to take advantage of hesitancy in the Breaks defence and round Hawkins to slot home the winner, as the referee again waved away the claims and protestations of the away players and staff from a Leamington persuasion. The goal stood, the full-time whistle followed, and Leamington made the trip home from Derbyshire with nothing to show for all the afternoon's endeavours. As for today's opposition, Spennymoor Town, who make the 166-mile trip down from County Durham, Spennymoor came agonisingly close to making the playoffs last term, as only a solitary point ended up separating them from 7th place Curzon Ashton. After consecutive 9th place finishes in the National League North, they'll be hoping that they can push on to the coveted playoff spots this time round, or better. There's been questions about Callum Stewart, can he play in that number 9 role, but what he lacks in strength he makes up for in just constant energy and unbelievable control, as Shorrock puts his man under pressure, and it's really good pressure, because in the end McEwen didn't know where to turn, it was Dyson didn't know where to turn, tried to stab it back towards his goalkeeper, was under so much pressure from Shorrock that he stabbed it straight out of play from 20 yards for a corner. So first corner of the afternoon for Leamington. Forward from the back comes Evans. Landers lurks on the edge. Ewan Williams is in there. So is Ward. He's up from the back. Berridge makes himself a nuisance on the keeper. It will be taken by Shorrock. Swung in towards the far post. Headed home! Leamington take the lead. The free kick was worked in towards the far post, and it's that man that we've spoke about just seconds ago. Callum Stewart is at it again. 2 goals in 2 games this season, and Callum Stewart gives the Breaks the lead after 13 minutes here at your Co-op Community Stadium. Leamington 1, Spennymoor Town 0.
What a great ball in that was from the corner. Honestly, that was such a difficult ball to deal with as well from the goalkeeper. Didn't know when to come or didn't know what to do, and the ball was just absolutely brilliant pinpoint into the box, and yeah, great finish from Callum Stewart there to finish that with pressure on him as well.
Spennymoor send it forward straight away. Quainer couldn't take any risks, had to head it away. McEwen tries to whip it towards the far post, headed down by Fletcher, just over the top. I think some of the Spennymoor fans thought it was in on this left-hand side. The Leamington fans tell them in so many words that it didn't go in, and Callum Hawkins just has a quizzical look towards the far post. But you're most vulnerable when you've just scored. It's the old football cliche, and Spennymoor nearly made Leamington pay.
Yeah, Spennymoor are going to come out now, and they're really going to put the pressure on Leamington. So it's all about, can Leamington ride that? Can they manage the game and manage Spennymoor to keep that ball away from Callum Hawkins?
It'll be James who will take the free kick, send it long, well headed away by the Breaks by Evans, out of play over on the far side, and that one's into the Spennymoor dugout. They haven't wasted any time with any of their throws really, Spennymoor, and they don't with this one. This one goes down the line quickly in towards Taylor. Taylor back towards Fletcher. Fletcher just helps get the cross in, bounces down loosely inside the box. They try and work it towards the far post. It'll be picked up again at the far side by Dyson, then drilled goalwards by McEwen, and really well held by Callum Hawkins. Got down to it well. Dyson worked it back into the area well. Corey McEwen spun on it, hit it low and hard and true, but Callum Hawkins was equal to it. So Leamington again will have a throw in. I think sometimes it's a case of teams don't like coming here. I find sometimes, it's out the way, it's a long journey, maybe the facilities or the end of the pitch isn't what they're used to, but Leamington make the most of it, and Landers will have this free kick in towards Stewart. Couldn't get his head on it. Walker helps it back in towards the 18-yard box. Everybody climbs. Spennymoor win it. Shorrock on the edge stabs it back into a dangerous area again, but this time it's Isaac Fletcher who collects it on halfway and now looks for the support, and Spennymoor will try and counter. Fletcher though doesn't really have anyone around him. Nothing was on immediately, and he just had to slow things down, and now Leamington have a lot of bodies back goal side. In fact, they have 10 of their 11 inside their own half again. They've got back into shape well. Spennymoor still with the ball, have it on this right hand side. Dyson drops his shoulder, comes inside, looks for support. Again, it's on this left hand side and it'll be collected by Ross. Ross comes forward, looks down the left hand side. Spennymoor probing, Stewart back there. Landers trying to do his defensive duties as well. In towards the near post, collected again by Fletcher, but buried into the bottom corner. And Isaac Fletcher, 2 goals on his debut last week away at Chester, and this time he wraps it up again. It's his 3rd of the season in just his 2nd game for the club. It seemed to be deflected as it fell down to him from the cross on the far side, but it came into Isaac Fletcher. 1 touch to get it out of his feet, 2nd touch to put it into the bottom corner.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it, where Spennymoor haven't really been dominating in the game, but that moment of just something that, you know, passes of play, passing, and they've just found the opportunity, and it's a great finish by Fletcher. And I feel sorry for Hawkins there, and you know, he's done so well in the game so far, but just couldn't do anything about that one. But yeah, out of nowhere, bit of lack of concentration from the breaks maybe, but you know, that's what Spennymoor can do. They've just found that passive movement and just opened up the space, and they've just found that goal, and it's a great finish.
Meredith throwing down the line. Landers climbed on, but fairly, and Spennymoor clear their lines. Taylor traps it well on his chest and halfway, and now Spennymoor bit between their teeth a little bit. McEwen travels forward. Quainer comes to close him down. McEwen still in towards the penalty area. McEwen's beat 2 challenges. It's still McEwen. Feeds it back out towards Dyson on this right hand side. Dyson looked to drop a shoulder, decided against it. Ross works it in towards Taylor! Just over the top. Really good header by Glenn Taylor. Really good play by Spennymoor down the right hand side. They whip the ball in towards the far post, right onto the head of the prolific Glenn Taylor, and Callum Hawkins just watched it glance agonisingly inches over the top of his crossbar.
It's great header. He got up so well, and just he rose so high to head that, and unfortunately just wasn't on target. But this is where Leamington need to relax, they need to focus, need to come together, take a breather, and just try and manage the game to half time, so Paul Holleran can get some information to them.
Leamington win the throw. Meredith takes that throw. Stewart, Meredith again, in towards Berridge, tries to offload, does well towards Meredith. Meredith, first time cross. Well, James was backpedaling and just keeping an eye on it. In the end, it was half a yard over the top of his crossbar, but it's one of those ones as a goalkeeper, you just start to panic and think, is this cross looping in? And in the end, James just had to touch the top of his net and make sure that the ball was safely over the top. Walker chests the ball down in the middle of the park, but Ramshaw, who's having a decent second half. He's certainly been more involved as Ramshaw than he was in the first half, and now again Spennymoor have a bit of space in the middle of the park just to play out. Staunton collects the ball from Dolan. Dolan wants it again, shows down the line. Walker with him. Dolan chips it inside towards McEwen. McEwen just stands up Meredith, rolls it onto his left foot, reverses it towards Fletcher. Fletcher in towards Taylor, and what a save by Callum Hawkins! What a fantastic save. Well, I think it was actually Matty Dolan who arrived with the header, right on cue from the Fletcher cross, and Callum Hawkins was at full stretch, and it's fingertips that have kept the ball out and just deflected it over the top of the bar. Still Leamington 1, Spennymoor Town 1. Fantastic save by Callum Hawkins. Spennymoor have a throw in on this near side, and again they get the ball back in play quickly. Staunton, Fletcher has Callum Stewart back there doing defensive duties as he does so well, and Leamington clear their lines. Bartley brings it down well. Bartley back to his keeper who has to chest it down, does really well, but then gives it straight to the feet of Berridge brought down, referee gives a penalty. Well, once again Spennymoor, like they did in the first half, have been the makers of their own downfall. This time I think it was Ross or Bartley with a loose ball back towards the keeper, almost at neck height. All Brad James could do was try and bring it down on his chest, and he brought it down, not with the best of control. It was straight to the feet of Berridge. Berridge tried to go round James, and then to add further insult to injury, James brought down Berridge, and now Leamington have a penalty through Callum Stewart, who has a chance to double not only his tally for the afternoon, but put Leamington back in the lead. It'll be Leamington with the penalty. It'll be Callum Stewart who stands over it, right-footed. Brad James in goal, who made a number of fantastic saves last week. He's just seen Callum Hawkins make a fantastic save of his own. Stewart stands over the penalty, right-footed, steps up and sends it into the back of the net. He sends James the wrong way. He runs across to celebrate with the home fans behind the goal. Leamington get themselves back in front. Almost the same amount of time has passed in the second half as it did in the first half when Callum Stewart opened the scoring. This one comes from the penalty spot. Brad James went the wrong way. Callum Stewart puts Leamington 2-1 up.
What a great finish that was from the spot, and well deserved as well. You know, he's done so well to stay composed there, to take it around the keeper, not just strike it straight away, take it around, either try and get an open goal or be taken down, and he's done his stay composed there, Berridge, and great finish by Stewart.
Level with the penalty spot over on the far side. If you do need reassurance, it's Rob Evans, bald-headed and bearded, ready to hurl this one in towards the Spennymoor penalty area once more. Here it comes. It's in towards the near post. James comes for it and punches it away well. Back to Evans again. Chips one in towards a dangerous area. Williams! Well, it might be Ward. It might be Ward. It is Ward. They look similar, but it's George Ward. Worked in by Evans. Ward has headed it down and headed it into the back of the net. James Half came for it, but he couldn't get there. He gets his first goal for the club, the man who was brought in over the summer in his second start. And it's Leamington 3, Spennymoor Town 1.
What a header that was. He rose so high and just flick over Brad James. Great finish. And he deserves that, you know, because second half he's been under pressure a lot, but under pressure by Fletcher, out by Taylor, and he's done so well at the back, and yeah, deserves a goal there.
Spennymoor have quickly got themselves on the offensive and have won a corner, and they will try and take this one quickly with Matty Dolan over on the far side. One arm raises this time. It's high, it's far towards the far post. It's headed away, only as far as Sasiba. Oh, it's straight at Callum Hawkins, and he'll be grateful for it because Sasiba hit it with plenty of power and pace, but Callum Hawkins was right behind it. It was right down his throat. He took it gratefully to his chest and then just fell on the ball, and Leamington keep this 2-goal lead intact. Leamington 3, Spennymoor Town 1. Bartley and Dyson, who just marshal Callum Stewart. Everyone else inside the Leamington penalty area. Dolan swings it in towards the far post. Headed by Taylor, headed down. Hawkins then somehow manages to clutch the deflected header on the line. They're appealing for handball. The staff behind the goal from Spennymoor Town certainly feel that there was a hand in there. It was Taylor who headed it down. There's a plethora of bodies in front of mine and Andy's commentary position, so we couldn't tell you either which way, but they certainly seemed convinced. But either way, Callum Hawkins did well to scramble across his line and just clutch it as the ball was just bundling towards the back of the net. So Leamington maintain this 3-1 lead, and now they're on the attack with Shorrock on the far side. Shorrock trying to make things hard for Ollie Dyson. Stewart's come across to support him. Callum Stewart tries to just make a little bit of space for him on the edge of the area. Walker out towards Meredith. Plenty of space for Meredith. Can he measure his cross? Isaac Fletcher's come to close him down for Spennymoor. Meredith onto his left foot. Low cross in towards Stewart. Stewart just tried to lay it off towards Landers. Good drive, but good save by James. And again, good play by Leamington. So on comes Ted Rowe for his first taste of home action here, and he springs away with plenty of pace and guides away from the first challenge from Ross. Tracking down the left-hand side, he's beat 2. He carries on. Ted Rowe all the way to the edge of the box. He's going to have a go. It opened up for him. You can't blame him. Ted Rowe off the bench, showing exactly what he's about. He rode the initial challenge from Ross in the middle. He rode the second challenge then that came on him from Dyson. He got all the way to the edge of the box. He thought, well, I've made it this far, I might as well have a go, but it was over the top of James's crossbar. Ted Rowe will stand over the free kick. Meredith's gone to show short for him as well. There is the full-time whistle. There is the cheer from the crowd. Leamington have picked up all 3 points in their first game back in the National League North. Again, thank you to everyone who's joined us. Leamington have run out 3-1 winners here at Urquhart Community Stadium. It's finished at Urquhart Community Stadium. Leamington 3, Spennymoor Town 1. You have a good weekend.
Paul, a lovely start for the first game back at National League North for yourself. Thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, wonderful day for us. The game was, I thought we started really well. I thought first 25 minutes deserved to be 1 up. And probably, but then, you know, these are a hardened National League side. You know, the year in, year out, they're always there, either playoff finalists, playoff semi-finalists. You know, so it's a good gauge stick. And they started to ask a few questions of us, and then the goal probably came at a time that we needed to get through that period, and we didn't. I thought they got on top then. I thought they finished the half strongly, and they probably started the second half better than us. I thought they did to us in that period what we were doing to them early doors. I thought we sort of got some quick sets and good spin rounds and got them running back towards their own goal and landing on a lot of seconds, and they started to do that with us. And probably the timing of the second goal was probably slightly against the run of play. But like I say to many a number 9 over the years, when you sign someone like Berridge, that sort of the goals sort of look after themselves. Callie Stewart, Berridge, other players we've had. You've just got to do all the other work, and it was great anticipation, good closing down. We forced an error, pressure, and lovely for Callie again. Another goal, and I thought then we were good. Then we got back. The momentum just swung a bit. Then, we scored another goal from a set play, which is really pleasing because just little bits of movement, and just look at the team today, and I look at players that haven't been anywhere near this level before, whether it's George Ward or Ewan or Callie Stewart, and I thought they were phenomenal today. The young boys coming off the bench as well, young Teddy Rowe and Ant coming on there. So, real good day. I thought we had lots of energy about us. I think that probably this week we probably didn't make as many mistakes as we probably did last week. I think we structurally were better, possibly. And I think looking at the end, you'd have to say we deserved to win the game. Got through the difficult periods. I think when we look back at the 3 goals, there was bits of good playing all through.
National League North, we've been here before. We know it's a hard league. How important is it for all the lads, not even just the ones on the pitch, but the ones on the bench to come on and perform as well together? Yeah,
well, you've seen that today with the subs that were made. I think it probably last week as well. I think it's great having been able to make the 5 subs if you need them. We've made 4 today, 3 that probably affected the game. But being able to, for us having a little bit of depth is important. When I felt the game was just, we sort of playing a 2 and a 1 of Callie in there, it gives us a lot of energy. It gets us to deep line midfield players. It gets us running past the number 9. But we probably lost its structure a little bit in the middle of the second half, and that's great. If I can bring, when you're bringing people like Jack Edwards into that role, then with his energy and his experience, it's fantastic. Bringing Teddy Rowe on then when our wide men work really hard here, so you can take Will off and put Teddy on. And listen, subs can win your games, subs can lose your games. You watched the game last night. I think today the subs have had a massive impact in the game. And I think with the schedule we've got now, which is 6 games in about 17, 18 days, we will have to rotate, we will have to mix it up, and got to trust the players to to keep the levels where they are. But listen, all the players in the squad, with what they can control, if they do that well, then there's no issues. And what you can control is your discipline, your work ethic, your structure, your personal discipline and everything. If you can do all them things right and work extremely hard on top of that, you tend to do all right.